Hi, welcome back to the recap room. In today's video, we'll be talking about a movie titled T-34, based on the valiant efforts of Russian soldiers to escape a German concentration camp. Spoilers ahead. The movie begins in November 1941, right outside Moscow. A Red Army junior lieutenant, Nikolai Ivushkin, is in a ramshackle truck. He gets out of the truck after spotting a sign indicating the distance from Moscow. Despite opposition from his subordinate, Stefan Vasilinok, he grabs an axe and begins to chop the wooden signboard down in an attempt to take down anything that may help the German soldiers. Stefan, who is on the lookout, spots a German tank in the distance and warns Nikolai. He begins to panic since they don't have any reinforcements and will not be able to win against the German tank. Nikolai calms him down and immediately gets into the driver's seat and expertly maneuvers the truck to avoid getting hit by one of the bullets. They narrowly manage to escape with minimal injuries. Nikolai reports back to his commander and tells him that their food supply truck was attacked, but they managed to escape unscathed. Impressed, the commander asks him if he's an armor officer. Nikolai tells him that he is, and the commander comes up to him, grabs his arms, and tells him that he has a task for him. In the early hours of the next morning, Nikolai is introduced to 3 men as their commander. They are assigned to command a damaged T-34 truck and told to delay the German attacks for as long as they can. As their commander leaves, Nikolai asks his men why they look frustrated. Stefan answers and tells him that they have been serving on the front lines for a week without getting any sleep. Another subordinate asks Nikolai how many enemy soldiers they are expecting, to which Nikolai replies, more than 100. The men then ask how many soldiers they are taking along. Nikolai tells them that they are the only ones going and have 1 tank. The men look at each other in disbelief and tell Nikolai that they are being sent on a death mission, considering they would be greatly outnumbered. Nikolai tells them that he hears their concerns, but it is not the time to be cowards, and that they must protect the Nevkhodov village from the enemies, as it has hospitals and shelter for them. The small infantry along with Nikolai begin to plot their next move. Nikolai tells the men to prepare the tank while he discusses strategy with another corporal. That night, they head toward the village and hide in the mud houses while keeping an eye out for German soldiers. As morning arrives, Klaus Jaeger arrives with his panzer platoon and spots their hidden tanks. A fight immediately breaks out. Nikolai attacks 2 tanks and blows them to smithereens. All of a sudden, another tank shows up and fires a bullet toward the T-34, but thankfully, it is not an armor-piercing bullet and does not do much damage. Jaeger fires an armor-piercing bullet and ends up killing the assistant driver. This instantly freaks the rest of the men, as they were already skeptical about the mission. Nikolai once again calms them down and once again attacks the enemy tanks and injures one of the soldiers inside. Nikolai then moves the T-34 behind another house and waits for the tanks to come into sight, preparing to surprise them with an attack. But Jaeger outsmarts him and comes from the other side. Once he has a clear shot, he shoots. Just then, Nikolai notices and turns the tank's turret towards the enemy tanks and fires at the same time. He manages to destroy the German tanks, but the T-34 gets damaged as well. The loader in the T-34 is shot and he dies, leaving Nikolai and Stefan as the only survivors. In the Panzer, Jaeger survives as well. As Nikolai and Stefan try to get out of the damaged tank to escape, they are overpowered and captured by the Germans. 3 years later, in 1944, all the prisoners are lined up in a train station, where the trains are taking them to concentration camps. A German commander tells all the prisoners to kneel for him, and instantly, everyone gets on their stomachs, except for one soldier who is in a hood. It is Nikolai. The commander becomes furious and goes up to Nikolai with another Russian prisoner named Anya, who he uses as a translator, and asks him for his name. But Nikolai refuses to give him an answer. Nikolai is taken to a torture room where he is brutally tortured for openly showing disregard for the German commander. A few days later, Jaeger goes to General Heinz Gadurian and asks him to recruit a tank crew from the Russian soldiers, having first-hand experience of their skills to train a panzer division. Jaeger is given a few reports of tank commanders and comes across Nikolai's report. He immediately recognizes him and insists that Nikolai is going to train the Germans because of his exceptional skills. Jaeger visits Nikolai in the cell along with Anya and tells him that he has been sentenced to death, but tells him that he has the option to stay alive if he agrees to train the German soldiers. Nikolai refuses and does not budge on his decision until Jaeger points his gun at Anya and threatens to kill her if Nikolai does not agree to his demands. Nikolai gives in, and the next day, all the prisoners are lined up so that he can pick out a squad to help him. Nikolai sees Stefan and picks him, along with Volchik and Yonov, 2 gunners. The squad is then taken to another location where a T-34 tank with an 85mm gun is revealed. The T-34 tank can pierce through most German tanks. Nikolai gathers the men and briefs them on what they have been selected to do. The men refuse to work for the Germans, but Nikolai assures them that he has a plan and he will make sure that all of them manage to escape. Anya, who is standing close to the soldiers, overhears. The men are then told to start with cleaning the tank and getting rid of the bodies inside it. They are told that they have a week to repair and clean the tank to make it functional again. As the men get into the truck, they find dead Russian soldiers inside. To Nikolai's surprise, hidden under the bodies are 4 armor-piercing shells and 2 fragmentation bullets. Nikolai comes up with a plan and asks Jaeger if the squad can give the dead Soviet soldiers a proper burial. Jaeger agrees, and the men bury the dead soldiers along with the bullets at the edge of the training grounds. The squad starts on the repairs and plans their escape alongside it. Once the repairs are done, they are told to take the tank outside and demonstrate to the German soldiers what the tank is capable of. All the Nazis watch in surprise as they see the demonstrations. As the men are enjoying the show, Jaeger talks to another commander and tells him to order his men to lay down mines across the training fields as he does not trust Nikolai and the tank squad. Anya once again overhears the commander talking. She sneaks past the Nazis and goes to warn Nikolai about what she had overheard. She tells him that she wants to escape with them and that she can contribute as well by stealing a map from Jaeger's office that will give them clear directions on where to go and how to avoid the mines. The next morning, before training begins, Nikolai and the crew manage to sneak the bullets from under the tank and hide them. They decide that they need to create a distraction for them to drive the tank past the training grounds, or else they will not be able to escape. The team then manages to light fires around the training ground, causing smoke to spread everywhere. The smoke makes it easy for the T-34 to move around undetected. They attack one of the training panzers and destroy it easily, since the Germans have no idea that the T-34 is armed. The commanders are watching from the observation tower and immediately rush to control the situation, when Nikolai shoots another bullet through the window of the tower, blowing it up. However, Jaeger manages to escape along with the general. Meanwhile, Anya sneaks into Jaeger's office and steals the map. She gets permission to go into town and leaves. At the same time, the tank squad breaks through the gates and moves towards Soviet lines. They pick up Anya, who is waiting for them. Nikolai takes the map from her and tells the men to head toward the Red Army lines. As they cross the first town, they make a stop to load up on supplies and change out of their prison uniforms. They keep moving until Nikolai alerts them of the anti-tank gun ahead. They once again narrowly escape as they take an alternative route. Jaeger, in the meantime, takes a plane and searches for the T-34 from above. He spots the tank's tracks and prepares to ambush them at a town named Clinton. By nighttime, the team stops in the middle of the woods to rest. As everyone sits around the campfire, Nikolai tells them that they should split up and that might give them a better chance of surviving. However, they refuse. Stefan insists that they should stick together. They then clean up before going to sleep for the night. Nikolai stays up to keep guard. In the middle of the night, he hears tanks making their way toward a nearby town. He quickly wakes everyone up and tells Anya to go on foot and cross the town because she will be in danger with them. At first, she refuses, but Nikolai manages to convince her. Once the T-34 reaches the town, they spot the first enemy tank. They shoot the underbelly of the tank and manage to blow it up. Nikolai soon realizes that they are surrounded by 4 tanks. He sends Volchik out of the tank to throw a grenade into the tank and create a distraction. Volchik manages to throw the grenade and destroy the turret of the tank, Stefan then moves forward and crashes into the third tank. Nikolai shoots and destroys the third tank as well. Jaeger emerges from the last tank and challenges Nikolai to a duel. Nikolai asks for 5 minutes so that he can help the injured Volchik. Jaeger agrees. Later, the two tanks meet at a bridge and aim for each other again. Nikolai fires a bullet, but does not do as much damage as he had wanted. He then gets ready to shoot again. He and Jaeger once again shoot at the same time and manage to slightly damage their tanks, but not disable them. At this point, Nikolai runs out of ammunition and orders Stefan to ram the T-34 into Jaeger's tank, causing it to hang on the edge of the broken bridge. Nikolai aims for Jaeger, but does not shoot him and offers Jaeger help. He refuses to take it and falls into the water below, along with his tank. The team then reunites with Anya, and they make their way back to the Soviet line. And that was it for the recaps. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, hit the notification bell as well to stay updated on our next uploads.